India is an adventurous paradise. You head out for a holiday, which quickly turns into a survival situation. A dream turns into a nightmare.
I'm thirsty, I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I'm lost.
Shelter, water, and food become a priority. A fire to keep you warm. But how? I'm Chandan Lahiri from OTA Survival School. I'll give you some tips and show you some tricks to use in a self-reliant situation. Do not think problems can only happen to other people. It can happen to you.
If you've ever been on a trek onto high altitude areas beyond, let's say, 10, 12, 13, 15,000 feet, in the first few days you'll find that you're starting to pant. Regardless of your level of fitness, you're starting to pant when you walk even a few yards. That's because as you go up in altitude, the oxygen goes down, atmospheric pressure goes down, even though the concentration level of oxygen is still 21%, like at sea level. Since the oxygen pressure is down, you require more breaths to take in the same amount of oxygen into your body. At sea level, our body is 98% concentrated with oxygen. When you're at about 10,000 feet, like I am now, then the level of oxygen falls to about 90%, the blood oxygen level. At the top of Everest, it's about 40%, which is why even the fittest of athletes, they would get into breathlessness, they'll get into nausea, they'll get into headaches, what is called mountain sickness. And to prevent that, or to reduce that to a large extent, you need to go through a process called acclimatization. Now, acclimatization is the process of almost forcing the body to adjust itself to the lower levels of oxygen that the body is getting in. What will happen is your blood oxygen level will go down, and what carries oxygen through your blood is hemoglobin. So the hemoglobin production in the blood will go up, your pulse rate will increase, your heart rate will increase, your blood pressure will increase, and all that is the process of acclimatization. And after you have spent a few days at altitude, the body starts getting used to that altitude, and at that same altitude, if you walk that same 100 yards, you won't be panting so much. And the trick is, particularly if you're walking at altitude, always sleep no higher than 1,000 feet from what you did the previous night. You can go up maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 feet. You walk up 4,000 feet, but come night, when you're setting up camp, let it not be more than 1,000 feet beyond where you spent the previous night. Because if you don't, then the body again starts getting confused, and you'll hasten the process of mountain sickness, and it can lead to quite nasty things like cerebral edema, pulmonary edema, etc. You have to allow the body to acclimatize to the lower concentrations of oxygen so that you have a happier time, you don't fall sick. And the body then starts believing that its physiology is such that it needs to react normally at the altitude that you're at. That's the process of acclimatization, and anyone getting into high altitude should remember that. Advantage of trekkers, they are walking up. So the pace of rise in altitude is slower. They're exerting more possibly because of the process of walking, but they are acclimating in the process of walking. There are people who motorbike up, who drive up into altitude. They are at 10,000 feet one night, they are at 16,000 feet the next night, and that can be fatal. You have to allow your body to acclimatize, otherwise you could be dead in a very short time. And remember, it can happen to you. Learn to adapt, improvise, innovate, and overcome. To learn more tips and tricks, visit this site. I'm Chandan Lahiri, and I hope to see you soon at the OTA Survival School. Leave nothing but footprints. Bring back nothing but memories.